Okay, welcome everyone. I'm going to get started, and this will be recorded so you can share it with your friends and family. Um, I'm just gonna mute so that we have a full attention. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and go through Solomon Leadership Program. If you could just give me some thumbs up, make sure that you guys can hear and see all good. You can see the screen. All right, amazing. Solomon Leadership Program. Welcome to the greatest program of your life that's literally going to change your life forever. Um, this is a brand new program. It's only 2 years old. We're very excited to bring it to Phoenix. We did it last year with incredible success. And as you'll see, it's a really comprehensive leadership program. So there's many leadership programs out there that either teach you the knowledge, the know-how, the connections. They give you a book, they give you a seminar, they send you a link, whatever it is. There's a lot of that. But we do it's everything. It's the whole thing packaged in one, and you get everything with this program. You walk out ready to lead the world, ready to take charge. So if you're ready to take charge, give me some thumbs up over here, some leaders. There we go. All right. And some leadership program. Let's see what it's all about. All right. For starters, we have the mentors. Okay. Now, this is often overlooked, but it is the most important part of Solomon. And I'll tell you why. This mentor is someone who's going to be your older, wiser friend, someone who will help you in any stage of your life. You can count on this person to call anytime and just ask a question to and say, hey, I have this problem. I don't know what to do. Um, the Torah says, Uknei lacha chaver. Acquire yourself for a friend. It's so important in the Torah to make for you a person that is wiser and more knowledgeable, someone that can lead you, that it says not just find a friend, buy, meaning spend money if you need to get an older, wiser friend. Because if you have someone that's older and wiser than you that can give you advice, then you are set. Just go to that person, you run it by them, and they advise you on the straight and narrow. Now, of course, we have our parents, we have our friends, and they all fit that niche. But this is someone who is not related to you, someone who's not going to judge you, is not your teacher, someone he or she will just be there for you to answer your questions and give you some older, wiser, objective ideas. So you're going to, in the course of the program, get to choose a mentor, someone who will be someone to your liking, someone that check the boxes. We'll work through that with you to find what are your most important career goals, your vision, your strategy, and based on that, we'll try to find the best mentor for you, and you'll get to choose that. Um, and every session, you will sit down with that mentor and just have a great conversation. An older, wiser friend that will just sit down with you and say, hey, what's up? Tell them what's going on and run things by you. So that's the mentor. We'll talk about more how that's going to work, but that's the most integral part of Solomon. Someone is going to be an older, wiser friend that will give you the best advice so that you are set for life, right? Advice is golden because if you know the right way, the right path, then you are set. Um, the next most important part of Solomon is the guest speakers. So this is a world-class professional, someone who has incredible knowledge in a specific area or profession. For example, we had last year we had two great speakers. Governor Doug Ducey, he's a politician. He's also a businessman, so he knows the business side of things, and he knows how to run a state. He ran the whole state of Arizona. We had on the other side, we had Mr. Todd Laporte, someone who is the CEO of Honor Health, second largest healthcare in Arizona, and he knows healthcare. So right there, you have in a snapshot an example of the guest speakers, people who have extensive knowledge in a certain area or field. And they come in at every session. For the first hour, they come in and talk to you about their knowledge based on one pillar of Solomon. So there's 8 core pillars of leadership. Um, and Solomon goes through each one of them. At each session, we focus on one of them. And we find a guest speaker that specializes on that topic. So, for example, we might be talking about communication or vision or strategy. That guest speaker will know the most about that topic, and they'll talk to you about it and give you their ideas, their advice, their knowledge, their experience. At the end of their guest talk, you will get to ask them questions, the Q&A. Pick their brain. Highly encouraged because these are questions that only you are interested about, and they may not be talking about it. So it's very encouraging. You ask those questions and you'll get to get targeted advice for what you need to know. And at the end of the session, typically the guest speakers allow us to share their information if you need to reach out further, if you want more connections, more advice. So this is a really great way to build up your connection arsenal. So we spoke about the mentors, right? The mentors are giving you advice, but it's not also what you know, it's who you know, right? So here you have at Solomon 8 different career professionals who are your starting point in high school for your connections, right? And you can build on that. It may not be the profession you want to go on, but at least one of them will have some advice that you want to know about, right? And that will be your connection starting point, so that when you go into business, you start off right away with having those connections and building that up. So it's super super awesome that Solomon provides that for you, giving you those CEOs, professionals, the advisors who they themselves have made things happen, and it's a very diverse range. This year, we're gonna have one guy who is super professional, super amazing. He's one of the most successful people in Arizona, but he literally dropped out of college. He did not make through college, and he is so successful. So he's gonna talk to you from his side of things, what he thinks about it. And on the other side of the spectrum, are people that just went through the normal route until they made it to CEO, and they're gonna talk to you about their style. So everyone has a different style, and through these sessions, you'll find someone that really fits your preference, your style, and someone that will help you there. So you have the mentors, you have the guest speakers who are giving you those connections. You have advice, you have connections, and that is the two most important parts of Solomon. But it gets even better. So, first of all, we have amazing fellows last year. These are three. You can take a screenshot of this and look it over more. But we have Eden, Pace, and Sydney that all joined Solomon last year, and they loved it. As you can see, they all took something else out of Solomon. So Eden took out tolerance, communication, and vision. Sydney, she understood humility, courage, and integrity. Leadership is so vague. It's so much to know about leadership, right? So, take a seminar. You could take someone's book and you just read a book, but it's giving you one little snapshot from that person's opinion. At Solomon, you have the benefit of so many different mentors, so many different guest speakers, and so many different peers, fellows just like you who are learning, and you're communicating. So you're getting so much viewpoints, and when you bring it together and you really listen, right? The art of listening, which we'll talk about, you come away with such an amazing view of leadership. You have fully completed the circle of leadership because you have everyone's opinion. And now, based on that, you can create your vision, your strategy for how you are going to lead. Okay. Um, so, how does it work? The starting point is the reading. We have a great textbook. It's not like the most textbooks that are there to quiz you and check, see if you right or wrong. It's there just to give you more information. So, let's say the topic is about communication. It'll bring you some articles, some opinions, some ideas from the wide gamut of news and the a lot of information out there, but it'll bring it together and distill it into a few pages. You'll read that, and then you'll go onto the LMS, that's the Learning Management System, and you'll get a few questions, a quiz. This is not a right or wrong. There's no one here to catch you out. It's just to get your opinion, your viewpoint. For example, a question that we had last year was, what questions do you have about communication? And you'll answer that question. And once you answer all the questions, it'll go to the mentor. And then at the session, the mentor who gets your answers will then be able to sit down with you and discuss what you just wrote on that quiz. So you'll have the guest speaker will talk about his opinion, but now you'll have your opinion mixed in, and the mentor sees what you just wrote. And based on that together, you will discuss it further until you fully flesh out how to really communicate. How do I really communicate as a team, as an individual, as a leader, as a follower, etc.? How do I get that done? And that way, at the end of the session, you have a very well comprehensive well-rounded opinion and strategy for that topic. Okay, so again, you read the textbook. Every session has its certain pages that you have to read. You fill out the quiz. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. Those answers go to the mentor, who during the session discuss with you what you answered and discuss it further and give you their opinion. And boom, yakasha, you have yourself a leader. You. Okay. How do you apply for Solomon? So, we're on time crunch here. The applications need to be in by this Wednesday. So, the applications for that, you go to solomonprogram.org/apply. You fill out the form. It's not a super long form. Getting information, getting a basic idea of why you want to join Solomon, and then you sit down with an interview with yours truly. We discuss what it means to be in Solomon, what the workload is, why you want to join Solomon, and once you have the interview, if you're a good fit, you then get the enrollment form, and then you're in the Solomon program. Okay, so the application is going to be in by this Wednesday, and it all starts by that link on the bottom right here, solomon.program.org/apply. Okay, so what will you gain from Solomon in a nutshell? 4 very important things. Number 1, it looks amazing in the college resume. All right, if you're looking to get into the college of choice, they're looking for people that want to be leaders. They don't want fellows, they want people that are leaders. Someone who went out of his way to take a course about leadership and has learned and mastered the art of leadership. Harvard, Yale, I want you so badly. And that's number 1. We have 8 fellows last year that not all of them were seniors, some were juniors, but the seniors had no problem getting into the college of choice. So that's pretty cool. Next, we have the elective credits. You get 3 elective college credits, and they can apply to any college in America. So that's really cool. Next thing that you'll learn is what it takes to win, right? When you see the word win, I'm very interested. You're muted right now, but I want to hear later when you join Solomon what you think it means to win. But as you'll see very soon, winning by yourself as an individual versus winning on a team when you have other people, other viewpoints, other opinions is a whole different story, right? So what does it take to win in life when you have a family, when you have friends, right, that all have their viewpoints? What does it take to win in a team? You're building a team. How do you win? Learn the skills now. You could, I guess, learn by making many, many mistakes, right? And we know a lot of friends who at 40 years old, they figured it out. And by 60, they're well on the way to success. But you are going to figure it out at 17 and 18, so that when you're 30, you're well on your way to success. And lastly, and we spoke of this when we first started, is you gain a mentor for life. You have this person forever. They're an older, wiser friend that you can call and ask questions whenever you get stuck. It may not be useful right now, but in 3 years from now, when you're in college and something crazy happens and you have to shift everything, you can call that person and ask them for advice. You also gain insider access to these top leaders who you have connections to. You know them, they know you. You can ask them questions, and you have already started your nice little portfolio of connections right there. So 4 very important things that you've learned and that you will gain by joining Solomon. Your resume looks great, college credits, you will win. And by winning, you'll bring other people up and win with them, not at their expense. And you will gain a mentor for life and get a lot of connections. Okay. Finally, leaders are not born, they're built. So if you're thinking that you can just lead on your own because you are amazing. That's true. But we need to polish it. We need to shine it. We need to let it come out. And that's what Solomon's here for. It's not here to take your money. We're not here to take your connections. We're not here to take you. We want you to be built up, and we're here to build you up. We want to give you the full package so you can walk out being a leader. So if you're interested in joining, take a screenshot of the screen. The main webpage is there on the top, solomonprogram.org. The email that you can email is phoenix@solomonprogram.org. And that number on the bottom is my number. You're welcome to call me or text me with any questions. And like I said, applications are due by October 22nd, this Wednesday. And that concludes my part of talking. But like we spoke about, being a leader is also about listening. So now it's my turn to listen to you. So if you guys want to unmute yourselves and ask me any questions, or you could write in the chat box, please go ahead.
Rabbi, I have a quick question. I was wondering, how often do we meet?
Great question. There's a full schedule up, and I will post the link right here. I'm going to put it in the chat box. 1 second. All right, I'm just going to stop share and I'm going to post the link. There are 12 sessions in total. They're typically spaced out once every other week. Besides the first 3 sessions that are back to back, the first 3 are just there to kind of initiate you, get you involved with the mentors. You choose the mentor. That's why they're back to back. But from then on, they're spaced out, and we also make sure to avoid any major holidays, winter break, spring break, etc. So we do a pretty good job of that. And the link for the schedule is going up in just a second. All right. Here we go. All right, it's in the chat box. Thank you for that question, Oliver. Any other questions? And I just want to give a shout out to Oliver for asking a question. That takes bravery, it takes courage. Those are the real heroes because asking gets you further. So the worst question you could ever ask is the question that was never asked. So go ahead. Any more questions? Okay. Well, if that is all from you, then you can go ahead. I'm going to post the link right here in the chat box to apply. Okay, it's in the chat box. Go ahead, discuss it with your friends and family. If it's a good fit for you, go ahead and apply. Make sure to do it by this Wednesday. And the sooner you do it, the better, because there's limited spots available and it is first come, first serve. So with that, I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your Sunday and Shavua Tov. See you guys soon.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. Take care.